Hey, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Grandpop coming to you from kind of next to the Intercoastal Waterway Bridge off of Beach Boulevard. So this is a place that I used to go running all the time on Friday mornings, across back and forth on the bridge, and also on Monday nights occasionally I would do the bridge run from Southern Swells Brewery. It's a great place to run and hike. So I did 2.5 miles, a loop over and back on the other side and around underneath at each side. It's a lot of fun. When you're here in JAX Beach, maybe we'll do it sometime. Today, we're going to be back in the Net Bible, Reader's Edition. Awesome version of the Bible, beta tested. State-of-the-art scholarship on this Bible. We're going to be looking at Genesis chapter 11. The first thing that's going to happen in this is we're going to see the Tower of Babel, however you want to call it. And what happens to people when they build this kind of skyscraper to heaven to worship gods. But we'll see exactly how it's put when we get into it. But we're steadily on our way towards Abraham. And as soon as we get done that part of chapter 11 that tells us about the Tower of Babel, we're going to get back to the descendants of Shem, down to Terah, who is the father of Abraham. And by next chapter, we're going to be with Abraham, and we're going to see how the children of Israel become a people. Chapter 11, verse 1 says, "The whole earth had a common language and a common vocabulary. When the people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there." So they moved eastward from, I guess, the area near Ararat, because they started to multiply then. And they were supposed to go around the whole world, and eventually they do, but they needed some help. It's very interesting to note that there is just one language back here until the Tower of Babel. And there's a lot of evidence to show that's true. But we're not going to get into all that. You have your whole lives to contemplate these things. My hope is that everything you doubt that you hear me say, that you look at it from both sides, you do the research, and a lot of praying. If you don't understand something, or something seems like it's phony, ask God, "Hey God, this sounds phony to me. Show me if it's phony or if it's real." And he'll do that. And so they're in Shinar, and Shinar is modern day Iraq. It's the area near Babylon, what became Babylon eventually. And they settled there. Then they said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They had brick instead of stone and tar, and they had brick instead of stone, and tar instead of mortar. Then they said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered across the face of the entire earth." So they understand what's going on. They're supposed to be scattered upon the earth. And if they had done that, then everybody would speak the same language. Life would be so much easier right now. let's put it this way. They would have started by speaking the same language. When you're in a remote area, your language is going to change. But at least everybody would have started with the same language. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the people had started building. And the Lord said, if as one people, all sharing a common language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be beyond them. Come, let's go down and confuse their language so they won't be able to understand each other. So the Lord scattered them from there across the face of the entire earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the entire world, and from there the Lord scattered them across the face of the entire earth. Now we're going to get back to the genealogy of Shem. This is the account of Shem. Shem was 100 years old when he became the father of Arphaxad, 2 years after the flood. And after becoming the father of Arphaxad, Shem lived 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad had lived 35 years, he became the father of Shelah. And after he became the father of Shelah, Arphaxad lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. You're going to notice that after the flood, the people that are in these genealogies live less and less years. To the time we get to Moses, I think he lived to be 120. There's a lot of speculation as to why that is. I'm not going to get into it. When Shelah had lived 30 years, he became the father of Eber. And after he became the father of Eber, Shelah lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. And when Eber had lived 34 years, he became the father of Peleg. And after he became the father of Peleg, Eber lived 434 years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg had lived 30 years, he became the father of Reu. And after he became the father of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and had other sons and daughters. When Reu had lived 32 years, he became the father of Serug. And after he became the father of Serug, Reu lived 207 years and had other sons and daughters. When Serug had lived 30 years, he became the father of Nahor. And after he became the father of Nahor, Serug lived 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor had lived 29 years, he became the father of Terah. So Nahor is Abraham's grandfather. So we're getting there. Some parts of the Bible you go like, oh, is this never going to end? But they're there for a reason. They might not be as interesting as other stories in the Bible, but these genealogies are very important to point to the children of Israel and in the Christian tradition to Jesus. When Nahor had lived 29 years, he became the father of Terah. And after he became the father of Terah, Nahor lived 119 years and had other sons and daughters. When Terah had lived 70 years, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So Abraham's name right now is Abram. It's going to be changed, and we'll get to that when we get to it. When the Bible tells you he had Abram, Nahor, and Haran, there's a reason why. They've just done the oldest son, the oldest son, the oldest son, and then they get down here and they go, here's the oldest son, and here's two other sons. There's a reason, and we'll get to that. This is the account of Terah. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran became the father of Lot. And Haran died in the land of his birth, in Ur of the Chaldeans, while his father Terah was still alive. And Abram and Nahor took wives for themselves. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai. So her name is eventually going to be changed to Sarah, but right now it's Sarai. And the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. She was the daughter of Haran, the father of both Milcah and Iscah. But Sarai was barren. She had no children. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, the son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, his son Abram's wife, and with them he set out from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to Canaan. When they came to Haran, they settled there. The lifetime of Terah was 205 years, and he died in Haran. So we're going to pick this up next time with a really seminal chapter of the Bible. It's probably, well, it's in my top 10, I'd say, of favorite chapters in the Bible. Genesis chapter 12, Abram and God. They start to have their relationship. Peace out. See you then.